Are we live?
I think so.
Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to Rad Pod and Chill, where I'm always guaranteed to be painting at least one set of fingernails while we go live. Heidi Kuda,
How
Sean
about
Connor.
toenails?
Yeah, I do my own pedicures too. Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
Pretty stoked. I walked right into it. Damn it.
Yeah, we're not talking about toes, Jim.
We are in a minute.
Jim.
We're
Damn
going to
it,
talk
Jim.
about toe. I have to. I'm sorry, but I got to give the people what they need in a minute.
Nobody needs that, bro.
Nobody needs that shit.
They do.
Oh my God, it's like herding cats. This is Rad Pod, Radicalized Truth Survives, midweek, Thursday, whatever week, day of the week, kind of debrief on our week's episode where we had, this week we had Craig Unger, which was amazing. I am super stoked to be with everybody, super stoked to be with all our friends. We've got an event coming up with all our patrons. We're excited about that. But so every chance I get, I've been working a lot, as most of my friends know, but every chance I get, I'm catching up on Jim's articles. And I find myself saying out loud all the time, damn it, Jim. Damn it, Jim. And I've been begging Connor to do some sort of Star Trekian Rad Pod hybrid thing because I literally sound like Bones, you know, damn it, Jim.
This is the first I heard of this.
It's because you never read the chat. You know,
I never. Chat. It's because I look in the chat says 128 messages. I'm like, God, Jesus, God. Guys, just write the whole thing. You write one sentence and then the letter, then you know. Yeah.
You know what though? There's so much great breaking news in our chat. That could be a show in and of itself. Super stoked to be here. We got a heck of a lot to talk about. Yeah, so I'm going to finish painting my fingernails while you guys take it from here.
All right. So I'm sorry, but I have some unfinished business that I have to take care of.
I'm going to go grab a lighter while you do it.
You better. Well, we're going to do the safe for work version. Don't worry. So Hi-Fi is amazing. He makes these awesome posters every single time for our show, but I was feeling pressed because we didn't have one, so I had to make one up real quick at the last minute. And so, Sean, can we see the not safe for work version?
Do I need a trigger?
No, you're fine. It's safe for work.
Okay.
It's safe for work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still haven't decided if I want to show this, Jim.
It did that one.
The safe one?
The safe for work one. You
all
can
right. Okay. All right.
It's not going to hurt anybody.
I know. It's just, it's here. Here you go. Here it is, buddy. This one?
Yeah. Yeah, here we go.
Oh.
Okay. So they're not the prettiest toes. That's all. And so I needed something to work with. And so now I can reveal whose toes, and not only those toes, but the ones next to them. So okay. Let's now see the other one.
Let's see the other toes. Here we go.
There's like a surfer term, like toes to the nose or nose to the toes or something.
Here we go.
Toes on the nose.
And Miko wins. Miko guessed it before I even
wow.
said anything. But there they are. There's Q. Okay, you don't need to do that. You don't. No. You don't do it.
Well, if we're going in, if we're gonna do this, we may as well do it. Damn it,
bad.
Jim! Damn it, Jim!
It's bad. Anyways, so there they are, Q and the QAnon Queen, Marjorie Taylor Greene, chillaxing at Mar-a-Lago over some big lie propaganda by
he whose name
F-list dingbat.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Isn't he another like felon of some sort? You know.
Yeah. Oh, he's a felon, and
they're all felons. Everyone's a felon.
Did he get pardoned or some shit? I don't remember.
So.
I think he got pardoned.
So. Yeah.
But he but
All the felons get pardoned.
it was like felony election fraud, I
Yeah.
believe,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Which is funny since he's doing an election fraud movie.
Yeah.
At a quick,
Isn't there a law? Isn't there a rule against that?
At a quick glance, doesn't this look like AOC right here? Like if you just glance real quick.
Oh, it kind of does.
Propaganda never dies.
Probably. That's probably not though.
So
everybody was at that fucking party, man.
I know.
Yeah. I only posted a few shots.
I wasn't.
Like,
fuck those motherfuckers.
So I will tell you two things. Two things. One thing is that as a erstwhile music critic, whenever I would write a negative review, I would always try to find something nice to say. And that coral dress was lovely. So that's going to be the nice thing that I have to say. And then the other thing I have to say is that propaganda never dies when you don't incarcerate the villains. And I bring that up because I learned from Ruth Ben-Ghiat, our wonderful historian on Italian fascism, that if you don't incarcerate these guys, like Berlusconi, ended up ultimately getting pardoned, their DNA will continue to stay in the party, and that is what we saw at Mar-a-Lago. You saw all the felons, getting.
But it's not even the
propaganda.
DNA. It's not even the DNA. It's like half our body has been taken over, right? It's like, it's not like some subtle thing where there's like a remnant. It's like this fucking, have you ever seen that movie, How to Get Ahead in Advertising, where the fucking other head grows on his neck? And he's like, oh, this is weird. There's like a head growing on my fucking neck. It's like that's what we're like. Right? It's like, it's weird that there's all these like fucking straight Russians just like doing Russian shit all the time everywhere, and nobody cares. Like, it's bizarre.
Well, I care, and I report my ass off on it, as you know.
I know you do.
I've done more.
You do, and everybody who's listening does. Don't get me wrong. I'm just venting.
Well,
I'm trying to chill. I'm being rad, and now I'm gonna chill.
Yes, chill.
Here's me chilling.
You saw that article that came out this week about the Chinese were pushing Russian disinformation. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, this is, sides have been drawn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Russia and China versus democracy, basically. So
we've known that for some time, for sure. So again,
it is, but it's Russia. Let's be clear. It's Russia that's the one who's at war with us. China is in a long game, right?
Yeah.
China would.
They're just kind of hanging back, watching what happens.
They would crush us any moment if they possibly could, right?
Yeah,
I don't think they're doing it right now, right?
They're
buying us. They're doing it financially. They're doing it all kinds of other ways, right?
They're buying our debt little by little.
100%.
Oh, there's a lot of propaganda. They're lockstep with
and
Russian
there's some genuine Chinese ops out there, like some people on Twitter that some of these folks probably know, that are genuinely Chinese assets, but for the most part, like the aggressive, anarchy is coming from the Russians.
Well, I want to talk about. Speaking of Russian assets. Ron DeSantis, as scripted by his Russian spy publicist, he has raised $100 million for his re-election campaign. And Nadine Smith said that these culture wars that we're seeing are about his fundraising efforts for his presidential run. And clearly we've seen that he, like she said, he's trying to outflank Trump to the right by being more egregious than Trump. And it's paying off for him financially. And I bring that up because there was another hideous headline coming out of the lovely state of Texas today, where they showed their governors trying to now make it, unconstitutional, unnecessary to educate children. And this sounds very, very much like things that we've heard before. But to me, that kind of statement is like, okay, how can I outflank DeSantis to the right? Well, how about if we get rid of public education entirely? Like, once again, scripted from right-wing think tanks, sponsored by the dark money, fueled by fossil fuel, funneled into the Council for National Policy, spit out through these guys who are clearly fifth column operatives, or they just really, I believe, just hate America. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, they're so patriotic because they can quote the Bible. No, they're trying to take away human rights, trying to take away women's rights, trying to take away gay rights, trans rights. You know, that's a hater. That's a hater.
Yeah, last I checked, quoting from the Bible doesn't have anything to do with patriotism, even though they think so, right?
Well, let me tell you something.
Generally speaking, the idea is that you should be able to quote from the Quran if you want and still be patriotic. Wouldn't that be awesome if you could quote from whatever the fuck you wanted to, and you know, like, as long as you're not trying to destroy the country and you know want to defend it, then you're patriotic.
It's a conundrum. If you've ever seen Lois Wynn for mayor on The Family Guy, all she had to do was get up and say 9/11, what would Jesus do? And a lot, you know, and those are the three things that she said to become mayor. And so what I'm saying is that when these guys get in a pickle, which they always do, because most of this is cover for corruption, all they do is get up there and, you know, say a Bible quote, and all of their base are just like, rah, you know. So there's no low, like there's no bottom, you know. People still support Trump, even though he tried to, you know, encourage the overthrow of our country. They're probably, you know, still supporting the weird congressional kid, even though, you know, he's gotten into a few jams, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just no bottom, right? Like, I'm gonna have to write a piece on this, and this fucking sucks. But like, Andy No is promoting this video game, which is about mass murder. Content warning of leftists and pink-haired, you know, every kind of minority can think of. It's just...
This isn't fucking original, though. This is... Look, a bunch of 4chaners who made a video game out of Columbine.
Wait, I'm not saying it's...
Nevertheless.
There's a difference. The difference is it's being promoted by a motherfucker who has 1 million followers on Twitter. This is now the #1 trending game on Steam.
Thank you for not naming it.
Steam needs to take this fucking shit down immediately, because it's literally about hunting people according to their gender identity, according to their politics.
Oh my god!
Steam has weird shit.
Yeah,
oh my god.
This isn't weird though. This is Columbine shit. It's very fucking bad. And Andy No is promoting it, and the guy who created this video game is a literal neo-Nazi who is in the Alternative for Sweden party, Hatip Kayanan, which is a neo-Nazi party that came out of the Sweden Democrats, which was already a far-right, anti-Islamic, you know, right-wing party. And this guy is creating a video game about murdering Antifa, which is being promoted by a guy who pretends to be an American who is actually in Indonesia or wherever the fuck Andy No is.
Yeah.
You know,
wait,
I think that's Miles Chong I'm thinking of.
I'm gonna lighten it up.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say there is no bottom, but now I know what CW means in our group chat, because unfortunately I had to see a bottom, and now I need to bleach my eyes. But I think what my point is
sorry.
What my
I'd say he needs to bleach his rear end.
Cawthorn,
anyway.
but it didn't autoplay, right?
No, it did not play. It doesn't autoplay.
So now I know what CW means. So everybody out there, if you see the acronym CW, it means content warning. You know, it's not the cartoon channel or whatever. It's like content warning. But I'm making light of what is going to be, in my estimation, a serious point, in that we can expect more and more and more. The flame is going up. There will be many, many more egregious things, many more distractions. There will be everything awful you can think of. Jim's been warning about this. So what I had to do yesterday, Ann Nelson checked in with me a couple of days ago when the Roe Supreme Court story broke. And she's like, are you okay? And she and I and Char Norris have been doing a ton of reporting on all of this stuff. And I've been tallying, all of the, anti-choice challenges. And I'm like, I'm fine. I've been reporting on this. This is exactly how I expected it to go. I'm fine. And then yesterday I was fucking sobbing, just briefly, but I allowed myself to have one low day. And then I got right back to work. So I think it's important to see what's going on, know the fight that we're in. And when you need to step away for just like a few hours of self-care or whatever, do what you need to do, because we need everybody in the fight, but we can't have people in the fight when they've got no fight in them. And yesterday morning, I had nothing. I just was better now.
And you called Hi-Fi and he talked you off the ledge.
I did. My Hi-Fi.
Did you call him again?
I did. I called my Hi-Fi, like 38 minutes with Hi-Fi, and I was so like centered again. It was just, yeah. Thanks, bro.
No problem. Just everyone listening, remember, they're going to be throwing a lot of bullshit at you. They're going to be throwing. I got a whiteboard about it. It's called Angry Candy, right? They want your dopamine, your norepinephrine, your acetylcholines. They want you all wound up. They want you angry. They want you not thinking straight. You got to be fucking cold, kids. You got to be hard. You got to see through their bullshit. Like this Madison Cawthorn thing, that's a fucking distraction. Don't worry about Madison's butt. Right?
There is no ball.
There is none. And look, just as an observer, I'm watching in real time what's happening on Twitter, and it's actually, I mean, scary. Like the Twitter trends are like literally Elon Musk's id. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's like Amber Heard's pinned to the top for the last 10 fucking days. Yeah, it's bad. And anytime you click on it, it's just a giant wave of misogynistic hate against this person who was obviously abused, who may have been an abuser herself, but that doesn't fucking matter. And it's obviously intentionally put there. Like no one gives that much of a shit about Amber fucking Heard. They really don't.
Don't even know who she is.
That is intentionally put there. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's a bunch of MAGA shit all day long. Yeah. They did pin something about Roe v. Wade, but it's about the investigation into the leak. Yeah. All day. Yeah. That's all there is about Roe v. fucking Wade is the leak.
The leak is not the goddamn story.
That is not the fucking story, and you can tell, right? Because there are these written little pieces, right? You can always tell, like somebody at fucking Twitter wrote these things and then hit a button that said pin. Yeah. Like it's that fucking simple, and it's wrong as fuck. It's misogynistic and harmful. So and it's killing me, and I just want everyone, please care for yourself, and if you need to, just that, it's not going to get better. I promise you that. Yeah, it's not going to get better. Protect.
So I was looking at okay, you got Hi-Fi. You got your little finger up before I did. So go ahead.
Well, I was pointing up to you because you're above me. So you go and then I'll go. Yeah. And then Heidi.
That's the rules. That's the rules. Sean, so, by Heidi Jim.
I always like to take a look at our algorithms and see what they're doing. And so I found this QAnon stuff on Amazon. Then I got a little, so that got spread around, and so now we're dealing with what I think is the next most part of QAnon, obviously, but also a horrible threat to democracy, freedom, free speech is these incels, right? The Gamergate incels. Yeah. And so I was looking on Amazon, and so now we have these incel shirts that are kind of frightening and certainly, pretty fucking offensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, cruising through Amazon, just seeing what kind of presence that the incel merchandise has, because obviously it's a little reflection of what's on there. And these are fucking terrible. Girls aren't real. That's fucking horrifying.
I want everyone to email fucking Amazon and ask them what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
Because this is unacceptable.
Yeah,
Well,
it's fucking.
Remember when I was talking about weaponized irony last week? You know, it's like girls aren't real. Oh, it's just a spoof on birds aren't real. You know, like go fuck yourselves.
And Steam while you're at it.
Yeah.
So this was, this is another one.
If you're interested, you will be able to find it very easily. It's about murdering Antifa and minorities.
Yeah.
And it's on Steam.
And
it should not be
exists.
fucking up there. I played GTA, all sorts of horrible shit. Like, this ain't that. This is about murdering people for politics, for brainwashing.
Isn't this cute?
This one must have been this must have been an AI generated.
Don't normalize fucking shitheads.
A woman's incel tea, and then you have this fucking bagel guy, which is pretty.
Wow. So late last night, you know how I make myself feel better is I always write myself out of it. I write myself back into a headspace that I can deal with. And so last night I wrote a piece. I wanted to write a celebration of my 5,000 cup of coffee donation because that was a milestone for me. And instead it ended up being Twitter is hurting my psyche. And I wrote the trauma is real because it is. And Malcolm Nance, who I love very much, retweeted the Cawthorn video. And I thought, how fucking insensitive are you? Not everybody wants to see this shit. And it did autoplay. And I was upset because he wasn't thinking like these guys, like, don't be like that. Like, think about, not everyone's going to have the same sensitivity level that you have. And it was everywhere last night because it was intended to be that, as we've been talking about. Yep. So when I wrote that Twitter is hurting my psyche, it is. And I realize if I step off, eventually I'll probably be kicked off. But if I step off, that's one less voice for truth in a sea of shit. And of course, we know the potential of it. We've met, all my friends, all my colleagues, all the experts I interview, I met through this this incredible platform that is being weaponized to do mass harm. But now when I go on, and luckily I'm so busy during the day that I'm not living on it, as I have in the past. But I love horror films, but I always watch them like this. So now I have to do like this. Like I've got to make sure that I'm safe because you guys aren't there to protect me anymore. And when I used to get really beat up on, you guys would always swoop in and just be like, yo, set people straight and stop it. And I look down and Rich Grinnell, with all of his followers, is calling me a homophobe or whatever because I wrote, please, America, do not vote for candidates funded by Peter Thiel because, as we know, Peter Thiel is a danger to democracy. That translated into me being an immigrant-bashing homophobe, which is hilarious because A, I'm an immigrant. B, I grew up with my mother going to the gay parade in San Francisco in the 70s. C, my daughter's gay. And D, go fuck off. I know to block and move on. I don't engage. I don't defend myself. I know who I am. My children know who I am. And nevertheless, Twitter is hurting my psyche. And as I mentioned on our last show, I block and move on. I report. And all I get from Twitter back is, what were you wearing? Tell us more. So, it's unsafe. The levels of toxicity are back up to 2016.
So I was thinking about that.
It's my turn. I'm taking this one. I got to tell this story just so everybody can have a good laugh about Richard Grinnell.
Oh no!
So during the election,
did you bring graphics?
No,
I did not bring graphics. During the election, Richard Grinnell and Matt Schlapp tried to run the Sharpie Gate operation. And the Sharpie Gate operation was they were trying to spread disinformation about ballots that had been marked with a Sharpie and how they weren't reading about it. It was a total disinformation op, right?
Yeah.
But I saw it for what it was. So I started going to every single hashtag Sharpie Gate thread I could find. And I used an old internet meme called Sharpie in Pooper. It's an old meme. Don't look it up. I absolutely am not going to tell you. There's an entire subreddit. Anyway,
Do not
look it up. But I destroyed his operation by posting butt Sharpies, and the hashtag was hashtag Sharpie and Poopergate, and like people were so disgusted by that. He stopped spreading me. So, Mr. Grinnell, hey, Mr. Grinnell, fuck you, buddy. That was me. Anyway.
Well, I will say that although I do not condone old school internet memes to post anywhere, because again, bleach my eyes, like I've seen some shit thanks to my mate here. But I will tell you that it did stop an op right in its tracks, because Hi-Fi threw that stink bomb on the party big time. So.
And by the next day, they were doing articles about how it was a joke. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd say well done, but I can't. Well done.
It's like good job, but god damn it, Josh.
Look,
digital pink eye is what you gave it. Good job.
That is
pretty much.
That is what you call an effective psyop. That is what that is. There's not. I mean,
Hi-Fi's the king of that shit.
Well.
Okay, Jim.
I'm just good at disrupting.
Sean.
That's all.
Yes, and very, very solid disrupting. I've had my adventures. Satan Gate is certainly you could.
Oh, that was
call
an excellent one.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
It was intentional. I fucking said it on Twitter. I'll say it right here. It was a psychological operation. 100% true.
Yeah.
100% true. It's called white propaganda. It's a real thing.
It's the best
white
kind.
propaganda.
The difference is we tell you that this is what
propaganda
it is.
is true. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
but if you put white propaganda into a sea of black propaganda, it fucks shit up, right? It's disruptive. It's the same kind of idea, and so you get Mike Flynn in there like doing this bizarre shit that you cannot deny, and all of a sudden, it becomes a psyop. It becomes a successful operation, which was fully intended. Like the first tweet, I said, "Please share this with Mike Flynn's cult and let them know he's not a Christian," and they did. And it
fucked him up.
It messed him up. It messed him up bad. Now, for a long time, I was super open about it. I'm not so.
Jennifer, that's right. So
yes, Jen.
That's right.
Yes,
white as in true.
Yes.
So there's white, gray, black.
There's white, gray, and black. Yes, that's right.
So that's the white is true, gray is disinformation, and then black is false or lies made up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The gray doesn't. It is. It doesn't tell you where it's coming from.
Yeah.
It's part of it. Yeah. Anyway. So look, it's fucking war right now. It really is. It's information war. And I'm gonna fucking fight it in all sorts of ways. Not just in Substack. And so anybody
Let's talk about
interested, just reach out.
Let's talk about that. Paul Mason talked about the pre-buttal, right? So we got to start. We got to start. And I spent years trying to do that. Get ahead of the narrative. Get under the headlines. Get ahead of the narrative. Pre-buttal right now for me would be relentlessly hammering Ron DeSantis on how everything he's doing is to fill his coffers. Just like relentlessly hammer the guy on just trying to greedily hoover up all the money he can by doing hate bills. And messaging, as we know, has been shit, because you got one party that is still trying to stick to some sort of protocols and don't necessarily have such shite morals compared to the modern fifth column, what used to be called the GOP.
You have what we've seen. What I know Hi-Fi, Jim and I have all studied Memetic Warfare. In the memetic development, crafting of specific particular messages for specific particular point and intent. And it's not just like a bunch of silly, it's not just sarcastic words on a fucking image. I mean, there are the ones that push through, that break through, are very specifically crafted and have a very direct methodology to their intent and creation.
Yes.
And that's what we've seen for 8 years now. Is this quote unquote meme war, where the left being called quote unquote normies, right? As if we don't get the. Go ahead, Jim.
I'm just so really important about meme and memetic warfare. There is a guy named Jeff Gasea that a lot of people don't know about, who led up Teal Capital, who wrote a NATO related, or was submitted to NATO.
Stratcom.
What's that? Stratcom.
NATO Stratcom, yeah.
NATO Stratcom on memetic warfare in 2015, in which he talked about using ISIS tactics on Americans.
Yeah.
And the person he was talking to in the introduction was Chuck Johnson.
Yeah.
So, by the way, please, for God's sake, do not listen to a goddamn thing Chuck Johnson says.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeff Gasea went on to found MAGA 3X. MAGA 3X stole the 2016 election.
Wow.
MAGA 3X was funded by Jeff Gasea's boss, Peter fucking Thiel.
And one of the main components of memetic warfare, obviously, is
all goes back to these same motherfuckers.
Is repetition. So, Heidi, when you get burnt out, when you guys see the same shit over and over and over and over, that's part of the memetic stickiness of the messaging is the repetition, the recycling of the same message over. Trump does it, obviously, to no end, ad nauseum.
Right.
And it's just drilling the same constant over and over and over and over. And that's
I'm sure you guys probably do in your own lives, but because of my activism and my reporting, I have a lot of people who rely on me to bring them out of despair, because I've stayed strong through this whole thing. It's just, I don't see any alternative. So I feel a responsibility to continually be looking for ways to take action and solutions and to keep reporting. But there are those days, and yesterday was one of them, when I'm like, God damn it, they're going to win. They're winning. And I'm looking at those midterms and reflecting on what the work I did with Ann Nelson last year, showing every single racket that they're up to, every game they have, from the AM radio stations that are brainwashing churchy people, to everything that the CNP is funding, to looking at the culture war and the bills that are designed to create moral outrage and moral panic, to the Supreme Court, which again, I don't believe is has legitimate members. I believe they were appointed by a fraudulent president. So anyway, it does all really seem daunting, but again, 70% of America is pro-choice. They don't want these abortion laws. Again. If we all do the work of democracy, and it's heavy lifting and heavy labor, and we all do show up, we can crush these fuckers. But we have to, and we have one chance. Because if we don't do that in November, then once a country gets a thirst for authoritarianism, do you think it's a fluke that another Marcos kid is running in the Philippines? This is what happens. You don't get rid of these guys. And that is another lesson from Ruth Ben-Ghiat. Once you get that infection, once it gets into the DNA, once people get that thirst for authoritarianism, it's really hard to get rid of it. So we have a mission.
Here's the trickiest thing that's happened that people can't get their heads around yet is we have a two-party system, theoretically, right?
Yeah.
But we don't anymore, right? We don't. This isn't. There's no. All the rules all everything that we have in the country in terms of civility and norms and all of these things rely on a two-party system in which both parties are acting like a political party. That's no longer the case.
No.
And the longer that we continue to do this fucking kabuki, where we're going through these procedures and niceties and bullshit, when we just need to fucking arrest people who are trying to turn us into a theocratic ethno-state, and it is fucking enough. We are now a few months away from, in my opinion.
That's the signal.
What's
that? Audio's weird again.
There's a sweet spot where your audio is crystal clear.
How's that?
That's a little better. Yeah.
We're a show with shitty audio and great content. We don't care.
I don't even know where it was anymore.
Okay, I got three things.
Go one.
Actually, now two.
Two. Go.
Okay.
Number one.
The first one is I would request that every woman talk to every woman she know and stop having sex with men if they even try to overturn Roe v. Wade. Just stop. Because once men don't have enough sex, they're going to get really, really pissed off. And they're going to be like, no, Roe v. Wade stays, motherfuckers. All right. So that may help. The second thing is anytime I think of Ron DeSantis now, I hear Prince in my head, except it's you grifting motherfucker. Just sing that little song in your head anytime you see him. Teach it to your friends.
Do you remember all the Russians that were raising money for him and how he was so like gerrymandered all through his career? He got into, and then he barely wins in the governorship.
Well, and then he hires Pushaw.
Yeah.
Who's like who was over in Gal can help you with this in
Georgia.
She was in Georgia. She was
not the state.
Not the state.
The country.
Saakashvili.
Yeah, Misha.
I was going to just mention some good news.
That's the hand going up. I thought you were telling Jim where to position himself.
Yeah, I was like, is this a good spot? Like, where's the spot?
Well, this is the signal. This is Jim's signal. Yeah. No.
We need a different signal because it just looks like something's on fire, and now I have no idea what we were talking about.
I actually thought Sean cut a huge fart or something, and that he was clearing
yes,
the air.
Marie, for the Georgian government.
Yes.
That.
Well, okay. There were accusations that she was also running some sort of scam organization that was taking donations.
Sean, it's Sean's turn.
Okay,
it's Sean's turn.
Hell, just skip over my good news. Not my
Go
good
to
news.
your good news,
But
my bad.
The positive news of the grand jury that's been impaneled in Georgia is very, very fucking good news.
Georgia, the state.
The state,
Yes.
There's too many Georgia.
We're talking about two different.
Bro, did you really have to jump in with another Georgia story like this?
Georgia got me thinking of Georgia, and so that Georgia. That's horrible. We'll cut that out. Anyway,
cut it in post. It's live.
The grand jury being impaneled is positive. Can you not hear me, Jim?
No, I was
you just said the grand jury being impaled.
This is my signal not to sing.
Impaneled is very good news. Period. End of sentence.
Oh my god! I'm so glad.
You sons of bitches.
We need some good news.
Here's some good news. Trump's fine in the civil case in the Southern District of New York. I think it hit $100,000 today.
80 grand. 20 grand. Yeah.
No, it's like 100.
Sell a house for inflated value.
Yes, that's very good news.
Actually, you know what's great is I don't think the Russians can bail these guys out anymore because most of the oligarchs are suiciding themselves at the moment, or they're getting indicted. So I wonder where they're going to get their cash from.
Yeah.
Jim?
So it's
did you hear Firtash's dumbass? Let me go to Ukraine and fight. Shut the fuck up. You're going to jail, bitch.
It's more propaganda. Sorry. These are propaganda.
Yeah, he would hit Ukraine and be gone so fast.
These guys are just hedging their bets. They're like, shit.
It's also funny to hear
their
entire
Trump life is wrapped up in Putin being alive, and they're like, fuck.
I
This
know.
might not end up well. So I better throw a fucking life preserver to myself. And
Sean,
that's
what
all
were you
this
going to
shit is.
say?
I was just saying it's disheartening and hilarious to hear Trump using the exact same language, right? So he's calling his call to Raffensperger a perfect call. Again,
Yeah.
same shit. He's like, it was a perfect call. It was a perfect call. And it's like, fucking motherfucker. That's the repetition. That's the repetition, you know? And you're like, oh my fucking God.
Repetition and the flood. Repetition and flood. Right?
No one has ever.
Have
Have you guys ever described one of your phone calls as perfect ever? I mean, you don't even use that to describe your calls.
No, but I did tell my boss that I'm like Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every way yesterday. Of course, I was kidding. You can't do politics perfectly. It's doesn't work like that. But what you can do is put out fires well every day.
Well, considering that the new
I
DA
start fires.
New York is not going to do anything criminally, so yeah, it's good to have Georgia at least following that up.
Hey, so
that's our version of fair and balanced. Heidi puts fires out.
I go out and just start fucking fires, just talking shit.
I don't want both sides, man. I put out fires.
We got multiple viewpoints.
Well, here's the thing: is remember what we were talking about? The Democrats, the left is always on the back foot. They're always fucking reacting, and the right is always punching. We gotta punch back.
We gotta get on the good.
Call them out.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's enough.
Hey,
like stop dicking around.
Or good news, guys. You gotta post some good news from the chat here.
What? Oh my God! Thank you so much, Angela. That is so great.
That's amazing.
That is very good. So
That's
what's
incredible.
in the chat right now?
If they didn't pass that, are they gonna be able to pass the? Because Louisiana is the state that just passed that's trying to push through the law that makes abortion murder.
Homicide.
Well, which one? I mean, Tennessee,
187.
Texas. That's just one.
No, but this. I mean,
it's actual crime of murder.
Yeah.
This is the felony first degree murder that will put you in jail for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
For the doctor or the mother.
And I hear that. And I think some politicians trying to run for president.
Think about that. They're trying to push that. I mean, so I'm real happy to see that bill didn't pass, because if that didn't pass, then maybe this other what
we need to tell our viewers what we're talking about. One of our friends in the chat just noted that the Don't Say Gay bill did not pass in the Louisiana legislature, thanks to some social democrats. So thank you.
But I was saying that the Louisiana legislature is the legislature that is currently pushing through the most, that says that life begins at fertilization.
Yeah.
Which is very important, because it means contraception, it means Plan B, it means everything. It starts at fertilization, and after that, it's murder.
I don't know how you're going to allow drive-through hurricane, beer barns and murder for.
I have a practical question. Does that mean that the legal age of drinking in Louisiana moves back 9 months? Because if there's anything you don't need, it's 20-year-olds with drive-through daiquiri shops.
That's what I was saying, exactly. Yeah.
And can they still marry their cousins and their
Hey. All Louisiana ain't like that.
I know. I think there's another bill that didn't pass. I think that actually might have been Tennessee, where they were trying to say it's okay to marry kids.
Thank you, Sharon. Some Monty Python. Monty Python here.
Every sperm is sacred.
What the
fuck? In your neighborhood.
We missed you, Sharon.
There we go. Finally.
Don't fucking do that again. Do that again.
That's why it's principally Protestant. I can wear a little. Anyway.
You guys get to sing. I can't sing. I sing half a verse of
I'm
Georgia.
Still muted. Am I still muted?
You are. Nobody can hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Okay, you guys.
I can't hear anything. What are you talking about?
Can I tell you what made me feel much better this morning. Listening to Slipknot, Wait and Bleed over and over and over again. Oh my God, I felt so good. That's what I needed. I needed all that
we all have our songs. We all
Yeah.
have our songs.
Our
I needed to
touchstones
hear it. I needed to
that we
hear it.
return to. Yes.
Yeah. My children are like, "Why are you sending me
Mom.
Slipknot, Mom?" I'm like,
Mom's in a mood. She's sending me Slipknot. Mom's listening to the bands with masks on again.
I got to admit, some SoCal punk is good to get me up and going.
Yeah.
Like Pennywise or what?
Pennywise,
Melodic hardcore.
yeah.
Bad Religion.
Oddly enough, Santeria, I will never not love the track Santeria.
That's good. Is that
My prettiest book. Crazy
Yeah.
Fool. Sublime.
What a story that is! Holy shit! Recording that record was Heidi Jesus in Austin, Texas.
Bradley was some kind of genius. You know,
He was.
So his dad. A lot of music talent in that family.
Yes,
he one time went to visit his mom, like for, I think it was maybe Mother's Day or something, and he hit the piano and he starts playing Danzig's Mother. And his girlfriend at the time was like, I don't think this is like the best choice. Like, I'm not sure about that, you know?
Yeah.
It's
lyrically
a little, heavy, but kind of germane to the subject we're talking about. Oh, thank God for music. Thank God for a bass player,
That's what's gonna win,
keyboard generalist, a cellist. You know, I just am a music lover. I write lyrics and I can sing sometimes.
I was in bands for 25 years.
Speaking of music, guys, I'm going to release a new EP coming up in a few months.
Ooh.
Moses on a motorbike?
That's right. Yeah. So you guys have heard versions of pretty much all the songs, but I'm putting an EP together. It's going to be called Cult Cargo.
Fuck yeah.
I love it.
Cult Cargo, nice.
Need a twist on the cargo cult, obviously.
Yeah.
So I will let you guys know when that's out, and we'll have a show, and it'll be fun. And so I haven't put a record out since 2018. So it'll be fun.
Did you ever
do
see
that
movie American something where Mel Gibson's wearing the worst cargo pants ever? They were like tight. Pleated.
Are you talking pants. American Air when they were drug smuggling and shit for CIA stuff?
It was the worst of the fashion faux pas. You don't wear pleated cargo pants. Trust me on that.
Okay, that's not the worst thing you could say about Mel Gibson.
No, of course not. What I will say about Mel Gibson, we have one of my circles, Mel Gibson circle, is that he's a very terrible drunk, you know. So. I'm just saying.
Absolute piece of shit.
And he made Jesus snuff porn. I mean, come on, man.
Well, I mean, have you seen what happened to Caviezel? Oh my God.
Yes, I did. I know.
It's like Caviezel, he was at QAnon shows, like straight up the darkest fucking, Patriots Roundup. Horrific shit.
I would assume there's money in there.
Straight up, I'm sure there was, but you could also see in this guy's eyes, he was acting his ass off. So maybe he was just acting.
How many of these grifters? How many of these grifters have fucking IMDb profiles? Have you noticed that?
A lot, yeah, of course.
Yeah. There's so many fucking they're literal crisis actors, and we just can't be like, yeah, they're crisis actors. Why? Because Alex Jones already fucked it up for us.
Before we go, I want to bring up Elon Musk's latest adventures in finance in order to purchase Twitter involves the Saudi royal family who murdered Jamal Khashoggi, an American journalist who worked for the Washington Post.
Yeah.
Not American, but he lived in America and worked for the Washington Post. And he was murdered by the Saudi royal family, who gave him, Elon Musk, $7 billion to buy the thing that you guys tweet on and fucking read your news on all day long.
So I was gonna
also Larry Ellison, who employs Ezra Cohen Watnick, who was part of the people in charge in the Pentagon on 1/6. Oracle is a fucking nightmare. I'll just say it. Sorry, Larry. No offense.
Yeah.
Fuck that dude.
Yeah, fuck that dude. And then there's a bunch of other just terrible, terrible fucking people. Brookfield, who funded 666 Fifth Avenue for Jared Kushner. It's like over and over again, just a bunch of horrendous human beings that are giving this guy money and will expect payback.
I was gonna joke
what they get on the platform. So enjoy, everyone. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. I was gonna joke, what's a little murder among billionaire friends, but it's not funny. And you will remember that Twitter actually, was negligent in. Journalist information was actually stolen and scraped off of Twitter and got into the hands of, I think one of the friends of some of the folks you just mentioned. So,
think about this:
unsafe.
Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, Parler, Gab,
no anagrams today. Sorry.
You don't have any anagrams?
Every one of these
not today. I do have
run by the same cabal of assholes.
Right. Exactly.
I do have,
ask you
Peter
about
Thiel
that.
runs half the
It's PayPal Mafia shit.
It's all PayPal Mafia.
I was gonna
do we want the richest people in the world controlling our shit?
No.
We don't.
I do have a image I made of Jared Kushner's portrait of Dorian Gray. If you guys want to see that.
Yes.
I do. I also want to see Craig Unger auditioning as Walter Cronkite if we have it.
All right, so think of Jared Kushner as the Dorian Gray. This would be the portrait of Jared Kushner, right?
Oh no!
I hope he's melty like a garbage pail kid.
That is so creepy.
That's creepy as shit.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy.
It's entirely too many Jared Kushners.
It's nice not having.
It's not Jared. This is Trump. This is Trump's skulls and Trump.
Why are Jared's eyes always so lifeless?
He's
because he's an android.
Well, it's not easy being the son of a felon who set up your uncle. You know what I mean? Like that's got.
Listen. Every bit of empathy, compassion, rationality has been wiped out of that lifeless android's brain a long time ago.
I have a positive thing to say. I'm very
About
grateful.
Jared Kushner? Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very grateful that I don't have to look at those faces every day anymore. Because when his father-in-law was fake president, we had to see them all the time. Oh, he's going to solve the Middle East peace. Oh, he's going to solve COVID.
After and he was specific about this. Said that what's his face? Shit. Said 17 days of trials after the midterm elections. And at the end of it, Donald Trump will be Speaker of the House, and then we'll impeach Biden and Kamala, and then he'll become president, and then everything will be back to normal again.
Everybody will be so happy. All those Trump supporters who don't care that he tried to cause an insurrection and killed cops, they'll be so joyous and happy.
They're gonna love being in a Soviet,
gulag,
like satellite state. That's gonna be fucking great for everybody.
But let's write a different ending. In the couple minutes we have left, what would be everyone's happy ending? Because I need happiness and joy. What would be everyone's happy ending?
I want to see Robert Mercer and Peter Thiel and Joe Lonsdale and Elon Musk and the dude from Sequoia Capital. I want to see all of them in a cage.
Okay, well.
A cage? Why a cage?
Yep.
Oh, a jail, you mean?
Yeah, prison.
My happy ending
Prison.
would be that they all just go to, Roger Ailes and Ken Lay and Epstein Island, and they just stay there. We just never see them again. They're just gone. Wherever the old oligarchs go, the old oligarchs' home, just go away. Never see them. Their money's no good. Get rid of them. What it will take to get all of them behind bars could happen. They're all traitors. It could happen.
Hey, show of hands in the chat. Who thinks the January 6th committee hearings are going to be lit?
They can't show their hands. It's a chat, hi-fi. They can't.
Well, Can they do a little
give the
emoji?
video a like or something. I don't know.
Can they do?
Oh yeah,
emoji?
we're supposed to say that. Hit the subscribe and the like buttons.
Oh, subscribe and like and retweet.
Like and subscribe.
Do I get a happy ending? Oh, that didn't sound good.
Jesus, Jim.
The other.
What?
Damn it,
Sorry,
Jim.
everybody else.
Phrasing.
Got one.
Damn it,
Oh,
Jim.
Jim's happy
Yes.
end. Jim's happy ending.
Jim, we want to see what's your happy ending, Jim? Come on, give us one.
Yo, not on cam, bro. Anyway.
Hi-fi. Pshaw. Oh no, now I can't even say Pshaw because it sounds like Pshaw, the Russian spy girl. Okay.
All right, we're gonna have to stop this with this guy right here.
Jim Stewartson, what's your happy ending?
Honestly, if we got a coalition of the same together, decided what is okay, what is acceptable to us as a society, and turned off all the poison that was harming people.
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily want to put a whole shitload of people in jail.
Yeah.
I do.
Because I think there's a lot of good people buried under a lot of very, very bad psychology, including some of these rich dudes who used to have good ideas and used to do smart shit.
Yeah.
And now they've gotten their self mind fucked into believing that they're messiahs or Martian fucking overlords or something.
Right.
And so we need a way to get the poison to stop inundating everyone's mind all the time.
Yeah.
And if we can do that, if we can calm the whole kind of system down, think of it as a giant brain. It's a bunch of neurons and they're all way too fucking excited, right?
Yeah.
We need the whole thing to chill out. We need to give it some Xanax or something, calm it the fuck down.
Mindful meditation.
Hold on, I'm almost done. And just give it a fucking break so that, the people that are under all this shit can start to come out again. Because I swear to God that will happen, right? And if it doesn't, if we can't figure that part out, if we can't figure the poison out, we're going to have to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because here is the thing. It will not fucking stop. None of them will stop. They will not stop what they are doing. They will collect power until we fucking stop them, until we defeat it. One way to defeat it is to shut off the poison. If we can't figure them out, then there's other ways.
We need an antidote for the red pills. Yeah.
Yeah.
An
So
antidote for the red.
on that beautiful
Hold on.
diatribe.
You gotta see this first. You gotta see this guy.
I-
Weep. That's our man right there.
Oh yes.
Greg.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the
We're
way
just
it
gonna
is.
say
it.
We should end every
And
show.
that's the
with
way it
it
is.
What I wanted to say to what Jim just said, because it was much gentler than I thought. Oh, I love it. I just want to say namaste.
Okay. I don't even know what that fucking means.
Namaste.
What does that
It
mean?
means cauliflower toast.
Oh, okay.
It does not mean cauliflower.
Does
toast.
na means cauliflower and mustard
No.
means toast?
Toad, cauliflower toast.
Nama.
Hey,
Namaste. Yes.
love you all. Y'all be cool.
That's what it is.
We're out here.
Y'all be cool.
Yes,
be cool, man.
everybody, stay rad and
Also for our awesome patrons, next Tuesday. Yeah.
Tuesday.
We're gonna have a Zoom chat with everybody, so we're excited and looking forward to that because it'll be the whole crew, all of our patrons, us guys, hanging out in a Zoom call, and yeah,
Be good?
that's it.
Oh,
We got
we're
it.
gonna have the special thing.
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna have a special thing. I would
Special
love
thing.
everybody to tell us how they envision the way out of here. Everybody send us a message however you communicate with us and let us know how you want this to end, how you see a happy ending coming through all this. Because we could, as Nancy McLean say, emerge as a stronger country. We have an opportunity to do that. So let's
The Zoom call
try to make
is
it happen.
next. Hold on.
Let's all have a happy ending together.
Yes.
You're so fucking weird, dude.
You're
So
so
fucking weird.
Yes, that's so weird.
I'm the mad one. Jesus Christ.
I know. The
The
Zoom call is Zoom call is 8 p.m. Central next Tuesday. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay rad.